Welcome to another episode of Midnight Rodeo with Alex and Jose. I am your co-host Jose Garza, and alongside with me is the pictureless Alex de la Cruz. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Go with it.
Hey, nephew, chill out, dude. We trying to do something over here. My goodness. Hey, yo, you got to put in a better one.
Yeah, hold on, give me a second.
All right, dang. I mean, we're trying to have some Midnight Rodeo football talk, and this my nephew, he's trying to interrupt everything. My goodness, you got to deport him right now or something. My goodness gracious, how you all doing tonight? I hope everyone's doing well. Hope
All
everyone's
right,
had a
man.
chill out and watching some excellent football today. A lot of chaos, a lot of fun in week 11. Alex, we're officially halfway into the entire football season, including playoffs. 22 weeks of football. Today was week 11. We're halfway done, essentially, brother. How are you feeling about the season so far?
Yeah, it went by fast, and we are halfway, I guess, to the season, and still so many questions on
Questions?
teams, and yeah, you're still not sure who the clear cut Super Bowl contenders are, and the playoff picture is still up for grabs, especially in the AFC with a lot of teams fighting for those last couple of spots at the end.
Hey man, sometimes that's how it is, right? So, I mean, sometimes we have those
Yeah.
competitive seasons, and Alex, that's kind of one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, man. Because another thing too, when it comes to this midway to the season, we kind of know who the MVP favorites are. And I got to be honest with you, man, I don't have a real MVP favorite. It's kind of like every week there's always a little something different that I got to go with, and for so far this year, I don't have a real favorite that really sticks out to me. I know some people will say, "Oh, well, Tyreek Hill." Or Tua, because both of them together are leading the Dolphins very well. You can say some defensive players have been really stepping up and doing things out of the ordinary. Alex, one before you answer, like who's your MVP favorite? I want to know: is this the year we finally don't have a QB MVP?
Uh, I don't think so because this is such a QB driven league. I would like for it to go to a defensive player, but
Yeah,
it's most likely not going to go to. But like Miles Garrett or TJ Parsons been playing good so far this year. I know he has some up and downs, but as far as it's gonna have to go to a QB. But you look at the QBs and you're like, man, who's the clear cut QB? And you don't
no
you
one.
Lamar has one of those games where like, damn, I don't know if he could be the MVP. Brock had a couple rough stretches in the middle of the 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
So
early on
I
for
don't
three straight weeks, Brock Purdy was struggling. Like you said, the losses with the Ravens, you could say Lamar was at fault for all of them, even though you could also argue like drops and stuff like that. But either way, blown leads, right? I mean, that's on Lamar and defenses. Um, but I don't know, man. You look at like we're talking about defenses in general. Like, can we argue Miles Garrett is the real MVP right now? Because we're looking at the Cleveland Browns. They're 7-3, and a weird season of is it Deshaun? Is it DTR? Is it PJ Walker? Who's our lead back? This is with Nick Chubb going out real early in the season, and they're
yeah.
7-3, Alex. Like that's insane. Like we gotta give props to them because hey, I thought Deshaun would be the reason why. Not really, bro. But I mean,
Yeah, it's one of those greedy teams. It's like they don't win. They get those ugly wins. Same could be said with the Steelers. Steelers um, are one kick away from also being 7-3 also, and are a block away from being 7-3. So
yeah,
yeah, like I said, that division right there, the AFC North is like
beast mode.
always weird, always weird.
Yeah, man. I think right now for me, Miles Garrett, like if we have to pick like week to week, like what we're doing, like as far as our favorites, he'd be up there. Another guy that was really being talked about last week, we didn't get on because it was super late for both of us. We were kind of exhausted. Was CJ Stroud, and then today, a guy who's been almost near perfect as far as not turning the ball over, throws 3 picks against the Cardinals. Thankfully, it wasn't detrimental enough to where they lose the games, but 3 picks rookie year. Obviously, the hype is going to go down a little bit. even though they got the win. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they played another greedy team in Arizona. As far as like being in almost every game this year, CJ is gonna struggle. It's a rookie year, so you finally kind of see him different because he's only had like one turnover, like um, the first half of the season. But like, yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna struggle, man. I mean, everybody in the NFL has struggled at the point. So,
yeah,
and then also kind of looked weird too because it was in the red zone and it was just good to see them come out with the win though. D'Amico
yeah.
Ryan's defense is flying to the ball, so it helped. And then Kyler Murray too. Kyler Murray's actually haven't been playing bad in the first two games he's
And
been
this
back.
is without a preseason. This is without any
Yeah,
much of stuff. Like Kyle Murray is slowly getting back to who he is, and I think that's what the rest of the season is going to be for him, is getting back to who he is, and hopefully in a better position next year. Obviously, he's there long term, unless they decide to trade him. Oddly enough, they have one of the lowest records out there, not the lowest. That still belongs to the Bears via the Panthers. Giants win today. Surprisingly, Tommy DeVito gets a nice win, and it locks up the Patriots to get one step closer to that pick, Alex. Hello. I know not everyone's a fan of Caleb Williams right now. It's okay. I don't care. I'm still rooting for the kid. And we can talk a little bit about the Patriots later on. I want to talk about some guys that are real candidates for MVP. Jared Goff, another 3 picks as well. Somehow, some way, they come back with 3 minutes left in the game, and they upset the Bears after being down by 12 points for most of the fourth quarter. What were your thoughts as a Bears fan overall, man? Because obviously you're feeling good, it's looking good. Justin Jefferson has near 300-yard scrimmage, passing and rushing, and then chaos ensues at the end.
Fields, Justin Fields. Yeah, Justin Fields look good. I mean, the game plan was pretty much let's take the ball away from Detroit's offense. I think it was like 40 to like 20 or 40 to like 18.
Yeah,
They executed the game plan to the T. Special teams played good. Just those last 4 minutes, man. Like I said all year, just the Tampa 2 is so outdated. I mean, if you're gonna run a Tampa 2, at least have the guys that can run it. I've been saying from the get go, the beginning of the season, we need to trade Eddie Jackson. Don't pay him. Just you can let him walk, man. Eddie gets lost in cover 2, and kudos to Dave Campbell though for rattling his troops, not giving up. David Montgomery looked good. They're gashing him. Him and Gibbs are gashing him at the end,
yep,
and that's like that's a good I guess like representation of like a good team and a bad team. A good team could come back like in those final 2 minutes, the last 3 minutes, and a really bad team could lose a game like that. So I mean, but then the other way around too, like 2 years ago, Detroit was in the same path as Chicago. They have some
yeah.
good key players around them, and they lose tough games. And now Detroit's like one of those big teams this year, and they look good rattling around the last 3 minutes. And that's like I said, like that's how a good playoff team looks like being
Alex,
down by 13.
the AFC is crowded as fuck, right? The AFC is completely crowded as fuck. Which teams from each conference to you is standing out as the teams that will be the true favorites in the playoffs as of now, like halfway into the full season?
In the AFC, I still like Baltimore, man. They I know they look shaky at times, but when they are clicking, it's kind of like, man, where do I attack this defense? It's kind of they have Roquan going sideline to sideline, Hamilton in the back end, and they look good as far as like one of those teams that I thought it was a kind of like a dark horse going in was the Steelers. I know
Yeah,
Kenny Pickett. I know Kenny
sucks,
Pickett's
sucks,
yeah
sucks.
sucks, but I mean like with that type of defense, man, you could win games. They just gotta figure it out on the offensive side, man. Same thing could be said with Cleveland, but but yeah, man, with those type of teams, you kind of feel like the defense needs to score to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man.
and that's a tough task to ask for your defense.
Obviously, the Ravens have a schedule to still go the rest of the way. Next week, they get the Justin Herbert and the Chargers for Sunday Night Football. Then they finally get their bye week, and then they finish out with divisional games for the rest of the way. They lost to Mark Andrews on Thursday. We'll go into that right now. How big is it for Lamar to lose his most trusted weapon?
It's big, man. It's a big guy in the middle of the field. Lamar looks from in big key spots, and then and it's also big in the parts like you don't have that receiver that's like, as far as Zay Flowers is not a physical receiver, right? So you take away the physicality of not having Mark Andrews. So where do you go to from there? You don't have no big receiver in the outside. And you could say Odell, but Odell, still has you can still see that he still has his
Fragile.
problems. Yeah, still fragile, so it's
Nah,
tough.
yeah, man. I mean, I'm praying. Obviously, we want the Ravens to do good this season. Like, I want kind of like that Lamar hate to like, I want people to get shut the fuck up like real quick. Like, there's a lot of people out there that just wants to throw that shade to Lamar, and I'm like, who hurt you? And then I ask, who's your team? And then I find out who the team is, and I'm like, oh, the Saints, shit like that. Yeah, y'all suck. No wonder you're bitter. You wish you had Lamar. Lamar can get you places, but and if y'all know who I'm talking about, y'all know who I'm talking about. But that's a different channel. But anyways, man, I don't know. I think Isaiah likely couldn't fill in the role good enough. Not obviously to the level of what Mark Andrews is, or not to lower his value or anything like that. But I think Isaiah likely is going to be a good piece to step up. He's been there before when Mark Andrews has gone down. He stepped up in the role big for the team. Odell, we kind of saw him finally get his first 100-yard game since the NFC Championship in 2021. Little shaky after he got dropped by Logan Wilson, who had taken out Mark Andrews, who had injured Lamar. The man went for a three-peat, Alex. He was trying to go for
Yeah.
everybody on the team. Um, but I think overall, I think the Ravens should still be in a good spot. I mean, they get a little bit of a tough task with the Chargers. Obviously, the Chargers, for the most part, is a high-powered offense. It's really their defense that kind of lets them down. And Alex, you were ranting a lot today, man. I was like, you were like, who you blaming, huh? Oh, you blaming Justin Herbert? You blaming Brandon Staley? Like, chill, Papa. No one's even said Justin Herbert. I was talking shit about Brandon Staley, and you came at everybody. What happened? Like, talk to me, brother. What is going on with you?
So like I saw this thing on Twitter or X. They're saying that like you see Justin Herbert can't pull his team like with like in these low scoring games. I'm like, you probably didn't really watch the game, but like Justin Herbert put him in positions to win the game. I think Quentin Johnson dropped a wide open walk in like 40-yard touchdown.
Dude, Keenan
And
Allen got blinded and dropped 2 touchdown passes.
yeah, and that's besides the point too. And then to me, man, it kind of looks like Eckler doesn't want to be there. Did you see him roll roll down the sideline?
Do you
Like,
blame him?
I
Blame him?
wouldn't, if I was him, I wouldn't want to play either because they didn't pay him. But
Yeah.
man, like, it's just so much things get put on him, and like you expect him to be, I
Like, don't
guess,
get
the
me
savior.
don't get me wrong, Alex. Like, I should talk about Herbert a lot. Today I wasn't talking shit about him because obviously, like for me, it's still Brandon Staley, right? Like, yeah, the team put up 20 points, but what can he do when they could have put up 34, but fucking Keenan Allen, blinded as fuck, is dropping passes to the chest and right in his hands, and then Austin Eckler's over here fumbling, not really giving shit because he's only getting paid like what 5-6 million when he should be getting paid a little more. So he's saving himself for the next team that wants to pay him. So I mean, I can't really put everything on Justin Herbert. Obviously, I have my critiques about him, and that's one of the highest paid quarterbacks out there. Obviously, I do believe he should be trying to get his team to win. But obviously, too, when you're looking at the whole season, you can tell he has been trying to get the team to win. They put up a bunch of points. It's just the defense can't stop fucking shit. They can't stop anyone farting. They can't stop fucking a COVID spread. They can't do nothing. Like this bad. They can't stop Draymond from choking Rudy Gobert. They can't do nothing on that side of the defensive side. So I'm not gonna put right now anything on Justin Herbert as much as I'd like to hate on him because I'm looking at the season and I'm looking at the guy's getting frustrated with his own team. Yeah, I for the first time in a good while. Maybe it's just I wasn't paying attention. I saw him visibly frustrated with his O line when they missed the count and they had got delay of game and shit like that. Like he was getting pissed. And I want to see more emotion out of him, Alex. I think this kid has the talent, like I said, but he just hasn't had the tangibles. Maybe it's time for him to get the tangibles out. And Brandon Staley, I know you're mad at the media, right? Because they're asking, well, why are you going to finally pass off the defensive play calling to someone else? And you're like, no, it's going to be me all the time. Well, it shouldn't be you. Look at how your team's failing, bro. Y'all let up 41 points to the Lions last week. You let up fucking 36 to the Dolphins. Like, you couldn't stop the fucking Packers, who didn't even have Yair Alexander on their defensive side, who lost Aaron Jones. What do we talk? Jordan Love, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Reed. None of these guys are like really like standouts right now, and you're losing to them, and then you're getting bitter with the media. That was my critique, Alex. My critique was Brendan Staley. Like, shut the fuck up. You haven't earned anything to like really snapping back at anybody. You're a 500 coach. You're making your quarterback a 500 quarterback. Like, shut the fuck up. This is on you. You're gonna lose your job. Bill Belichick is probably gonna take your role next year. It is what it is.
That'd be crazy. I saw that too. I was seeing that too on Twitter that he might go there.
I mean, it might be, right? What happens, Alex? What happens if he goes and he's the Chargers head coach? What if after this season, because I don't think Robert Kraft will fire him mid-season, right? Or that I think there'll be a mutual departure. What happens if he goes to the Chargers? How good does he make them, really?
I think he just has to move a few pieces around, and that defense. I mean, that defense looks good. Joey Bosa got hurt today, right? So I don't know
early.
I don't know the significance of his injury, but I
think it was a
split. Putting Bill Belichick on that team brings him up to another tier.
Yeah.
Offensively wise, I mean, I like Kellen Moore. Still like what he's doing. Just like I said, you're probably not gonna have Eckler there next year, maybe.
That's fine. You can always find a diamond in the rough, and I think let's say Belichick does get over into the Chargers. Well, he's actually good to finding running backs. Like he's not like he doesn't like he's not. Yeah, he's not gonna find like high paying like guys you want to get now. He finds diamonds in the rough, and I think that's what Austin Eckler was too, right? Like he was a diamond in the rough. We got a comment here that says wild card, that's it for Chargers. I don't think they make it the wild card this year, bro. And maybe maybe if that's what you're saying with the Belichick, I don't think so, bro. If you really think about it, if Belichick leaves Kellen Moore to do the duties in the offensive side, how he's been doing it, and Belichick is solely focused on the defense like he should be because that's his game, bro, be afraid. Be fucking afraid. Like, I won't say they won the division because I think they need to prove it to everybody first, but be afraid as a team that like really stands out to be like dangerous as hell. All right, Alex, what other rants you had? You had more rants. Well, what's going on with you? You were letting a lot of steam out.
Just for people saying that Justin Fields can't throw. I think him climbing up the pocket and throwing a dot to DJ Moore. Another one that people didn't really see because the receiver didn't get to the ball was Tyler Scott on that. I think it was like a 3rd and long. And that I think it was like 2 minutes left. He throws a dot in between like two guys, and Tyler Scott couldn't get to the ball.
Well, if he doesn't slow, go ahead.
If Tyler Scott runs his route and doesn't slow down, it's another walk-in touchdown. A lot of people don't see it like that. Like they're like, "Oh, Justin Fields missed them." I'm like, "Bro, watch the game, man. You gotta watch the game." I like that they designed a lot of runs for him today. I was kind of surprised.
18 runs for 104 yards.
That's first time I think this
first game back too, Alex. His first game back from injury, so that's a lot of like trust. And I mean, I get it, right? He still had kind of like his thumb and his hand kind of wrapped up a little bit. But it's smart, you know, that's what he is, right? He's a Swiss Army knife. Use him. Like, I mean, I would. I mean, we're asking Justin Fields to do something, but and then you threw a shot at Caleb. I mean, come on. I mean, I mean, clearly I don't want him for you. I want him for me. But I mean, you don't gotta knock the kid. I mean, he's playing for USC. Come on, bro. Come on. You don't gotta take a shot at Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb's been going down these hasn't been looking good in the media, so let's put it that way. People were saying that he played good against the UCLA team. Like, bro, that's UCLA Pac-12. That ain't a good team.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. I mean, I still think there's some good quarterbacks in the draft. I really hope they don't move from Justin, because I don't think these quarterbacks could do what Justin does, especially like if you put him into that Bears team right now. They're not going to be able to do the same things where they're like, damn, like where those wild plays like you see Justin do on Sundays. They're not going to be able to do it on this Bears team.
So your team blew a lead, right? Like I said earlier, you blew a 12-point lead with 3 minutes left in the game. 2 touchdowns by the Lions, a fumble that became a safety. I mean, really chaotic. How much more in the hot seat is your head coach? Is it time to finally move on from him after the season? Obviously, just this point, just let him ride it out, like, because at this point, Alex, you haven't picked up the 5th-year option yet for Justin Fields. You might, depending on how the draft goes and everything. So you guarantee have him 1 more year. But, like, is it time to finally move on from this guy? Maybe bring a different mindset, to the team, one that will allow to Justin Fields be more to showcase more that what he has and use his strengths more than just limit him to being a pocket passer that, again, back-to-back years to kind of force upon him to be most of the season in the beginning before they finally decide, oh, he's got legs.
Let's I guess we could go back to when Eberflus got the job.
Okay.
When Eberflus took over, they were a 3-4 defense. So pretty much he got that type of style where those defenders that he had on that team, and he had to change it to a 4-3 defense. It's a different style. You're gonna have to look for different linebackers, different defensive ends. They're no longer standing ends; they have to be on the ground. And then you also got to look at, like, Ryan Poles came into the team also with no number 1 picks. So what do you have is a really bad football team. So we get it, right? Year 1 into the season. Year 1 was last year, and it was pretty bad. But you see glimpses, like, damn, there's some talent around here. We'll give him 1 more year. Again, still building the team this year. Still got to build the team around Eberflus, how he wants it. Like I said, man, in the beginning, Eddie Jackson does not fit this scheme. As I've been saying from the get-go, just let him walk. If you're gonna keep Eberflus, you have to build what he does, like his defensive play style. And it's kind of hard, man. Like, I wanna say, yeah, let him go, let's get another coach. But then you're also like, damn, well, he really hasn't been able to plug in his players like he wants to, because it's only year 2 of a rebuild. And there's some key guys that he's brought in. It's been looking good, like TJ Edwards. Edmonds looked good today. Kyle Gordon, they drafted him, and I think Stevenson got a pick today, and he got a forced fumble. Some of the guys that he brought look good. As far as, like, the guys that he had to come in, like, that defensive line is just like names that he had to, like, bring in.
Do you agree with this? Have they become Cubs since Khalil Mack left?
The Cubs have been competitively. I don't know. The Bears never really have it.
So the Bears are back in the womb. Got it. I like that. No, man. I mean, hey, I'm looking good right now. I told all of y'all they ain't gonna get 7 wins this season. So far, I'm looking good. A few more losses, and I'm right there.
They're gonna have to go on a hot winning streak to get over 7.
Hey, man. So I put on the cover. I put Josh Allen up, right? Because today this is the first game with Joe Brady as the new interim OC since they fired Ken Dorsey on what's it called, Monday, Tuesday, whatever it was, when they already fired him, and they kind of let him be the guy the fall guy, right? Because Clearly, it wasn't Sean McDermott and his fucking defense and special teams that fucking choked the game to Denver, right? It was Ken Dorsey. How impressive were you with him today? Do you feel like, hey, it's a little more back to the Josh Allen I know, or is it more like, all right, this is a good start. Let's see how we can develop from here. Is this with Joe Brady, a guy who helped Joe Burrow and the LSU football team win their national championship? Do you trust that this guy can help Josh Allen and be more competitive for the rest of the season into the playoffs, potentially a Super Bowl? I know James and Javi were hating on him this past week, but I want to hear your thoughts on Josh Allen.
I mean, this is a good. I think this is a good bounce back performance because, like we said, the Jets defense is like a Super Bowl caliber defense. Granted that they're on the field most of the time, so that's probably why you were able to score that many points on them. They're always they're exhausted. So I'm not too quick to jump the gun on them. Like, oh my god, this is what we're gonna be looking at from now on. The thing with Josh Allen, I think what everybody says is the turnover issues against when it really matters, right? Because I think did he have a pick today where
he had a pick, but that was the end of the first half, one of those Hail Marys. But that one doesn't matter. That one doesn't matter to me.
So that's what I mean. Like when the game is tight and you have to have it, will Josh Allen perform? You know what I mean? With this new OC, I guess, like I said, man, there's still a lot of questions. And I don't think we got one today. We didn't get an answer today. So,
I mean, Trayvon Diggs has an answer. Get 14 out of there. should Stephon Diggs, who I like Stephon Diggs since his Minnesota days, but let's be honest. And I don't know how you feel. I know you're so big on route running and so big on strong hands for receivers. He wasn't as this explosive as he was with Minnesota. Like Trayvon Diggs said, oh, well, 14 made 17. Okay. Can you kind of reverse that too and say 17 kind of made 14 as well? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're not gonna have the same wheels whenever you were younger.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could say Josh Allen elevated Stephon Diggs too, because when you see the Stephon Diggs, like, oh my god, like look at this 70-yard touchdown, 60-yard touchdown. Yeah, who got him that ball? You know, sometimes there's corners right on him, and Allen throws it on the money. So you could say both elevated each other. I don't really like that Trayvon went to social media and had a blast like that, because then that becomes like a locker room issue.
I don't like Stephon's rebuttal. Did you hear Stephon's rebuttal?
Yeah.
He said,
what was it?
I can't control other people's opinions or emotions. I'm paraphrasing, but kind of to that point. And I'm like, Stephon, that's your brother. That's the guy you talk to, and you're talking shit about your teammates too all the time because that's your brother. So now he's letting out shit that you feel. It's not just that this is how he feels. We're figuring out this is how you feel, because now, since the AFC divisional game last year, we've seen you get upset with Josh Allen. We've seen you like get pissed off. So, I mean, here's the thing. I pulled it up, Alex. So his number of receptions has ramped up significantly since becoming a Buffalo Bill, right? Like his highest receptions were 102, and that was one time. That was the second to last year with the Vikings. And then the year after that, he does hit 1,100 yards, but he only gets 63 receptions. And that's the year where they kind of like, trying to devalue him. Remember that? That was the kind of thing where they weren't really giving him the ball much, because that was like his lowest since his rookie year as far as reception count. And ever since, every year with Josh Allen, 120, 103, 108 receptions. So I'm not even counting the targets. That's how much he's gotten. That's how many catches he's had. And every year it's 1,500, 1,200, 1,400. He's already at 900 this year, Alex. So he's on pace to like really about to hit maybe about, I would say 1,300 the rest of the, for the year. And it's like, where are you going to go, Stephon? You're getting older. This will be year not 10. Next year will be year 10 for him. And so, like, where are you gonna go? Because we've seen Devontae Adams go somewhere else, hasn't panned out. We've seen DeAndre Hopkins go somewhere else, hasn't panned out. You got a guy you have a connection with. Where the fuck do you think you're gonna go? And this is my thing, bro. Sometimes the wide receiver egos, it's too big for them that they put themselves back, right? I mean, what do you like? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the best thing Stephon could do is just stay there in Buffalo because you're all right. Where is he gonna go? People say, "Oh, let's bring him to KC." Yeah, but like, how's that gonna work though? You're not gonna get as much targets to the Andy Reid way. That's why Tyreek Hill, I mean, obviously left because I don't know if you saw he was on a pod where he said that he didn't. There were some times where he only got like 7, 6 targets a game, and he didn't like that.
Sometimes
But
that's a
that's the
lot.
only
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
but he didn't want that. You know what I mean? Because he's the number one. I don't think Stephon is gonna be okay with having only 5, 6 targets a game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just I want to see Stephon like, bro, like, yes, your QB is throwing picks, right? Like I can get upset with that, right? Like sometimes they're inexcusable, Alex. Week 1, 4 turnovers, 4 picks to the Jets, right? And that was
Yeah,
what after Aaron Rodgers, career died essentially. Last week to Denver, inexcusable again, bro. Like, yeah, there was the tip pass and then the awful fumble, which is a bad connection between him and Cook. But like, dude, like, I get it. The turnovers has gotten go crazy, but I also understand James's frustration too, right? Like all year long, all preseason, it was a lot of all this talk about Dak and his interceptions. We're not talking enough about Josh. Josh has thrown
mhm.
the most since 2018, right? Like if we're going back all the way back then, like it's Josh Allen who leads the league with the most, right? And Dak's not even really in that top 5 conversation of most picks thrown, but this is the shit we get sometimes, brother. Like I don't know, like
It's like the Brett Favre days, man. Like when Brett Favre would throw a lot of interceptions. I feel like nobody really talked about it because they would always say, "Oh, well, he's a gunslinger. That's his play style,"
yeah.
and that's the thing that you're gonna have to live with. But I'm like, oh, nobody really talked about that either.
You want to know the interesting stat that I found out, Alex? You know how I went back. We were talking about the last 5 years, right? Like that was a 2018 season. Like that was the last, at the most. Well, if you go back just 3 years, right? It's still Josh Allen, right? It's still Josh Allen by a good amount, right? And then today he throws another pick, so it adds on to it. You wouldn't know the other 4 in the top 5.
Mm,
Can you guess them? Can you guess who they are?
yeah, let me guess.
Go
I
go.
want to say, is Jared Goff one?
No,
No.
no. He would rank. Let me see. 12.
Damn. I know Jared
Yeah.
Goff. Uh, you gotta help. You gotta help me. AFC or NFC?
I mean, both technically. I mean, are you talking about for
Okay.
the next one? I mean, right
Yeah.
now it would be NFC. For 2, it'd be
Yeah.
NFC. For
Well,
the
Dak is one of them, I think.
no, no,
What?
he's number 8 in the last 3 years. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of shit about Dak, but he's not even the top 5 in the last 3 years.
Man, who's had a trouble throwing the ball around? I mean,
You probably won't even figure these names out. I bet you. Okay, here's a hint.
Danny
Um,
Dimes.
no, they don't allow him to throw the ball that much.
That
Here's a hint.
sucks.
Here's a hint. In the last 3 years, this quarterback recently switched teams from same conference. I'll give you that much hint.
Same conference.
So essentially 2020, 2021, 22, 23,
Man, bro, I'm lost. I'm
Okay,
lost.
do you want me to give you the names? Because I
Yeah.
mean, you can just throw out some names and I'll let you know if it's where they're at. Just throw out some names. Just throw quarterback names and I'll tell you where they're at.
Man, Baker.
Baker is, let me count this. Uh, 17.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
No, you're getting colder. You're getting much colder, bro. He's not even close.
Damn. Aaron,
Ben
Aaron Rodgers.
DiNucci. The great DiNucci. A-Rod. No, he throws the ball away. He doesn't really throw picks. Come on, man. Come on. I gave you a hint earlier. He switched. Okay. We have Super Bowl champions in the top 5.
Patrick Mahomes?
3. He has
He's a
30. He has 38 interceptions, now 6 less than Josh Allen in the last 3 years.
Holy smokes. Nobody talks about it, huh?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Some of these names okay, who's a gunslinger? That's the NFC guy. Who's a gunslinger? Who's known to be a gunslinger? You know this. You know this. He left conference, same conference, different team. Gunslinger.
Damn, I don't know.
All right, we got an answer here. He's number 4 right here. Matthew Stafford.
Matt Stafford. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Gunslinger.
Yeah, Stafford did throw a lot of picks in Detroit, and even in his later years too. And
okay, number 5 has only been in the league in the last 3 years.
Justin Fields?
No. Justin Fields would actually be number 16.
That's a young guy. It's not the Prince, is it?
The Prince that was promised is number 8. Oh no, yeah, he's 8. Dak was 9. I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence is 8. Dak is 9.
Damn.
Yeah. But that's not number 5. Come on, who have we talked about a lot this year who's thrown a lot to the other team?
Mac?
Yeah, number 5, bro. Mac has thrown the 5th most turnovers in the last 3 years. Now, he's technically tied, but he's played less games than this other person. So that's why I leave him. Huh? Yeah, like 10 games, like 10 games less.
That's crazy. Well, Mac Jones didn't really have a big problem up until I want to say this year, because
this year and last year were his bad ones.
Yeah, because
his first year was a few, but not as bad.
His first year, he was real efficient with the ball.
Yeah, his last 2 years with the Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, and now this year, it's been bad. All right, and you're still missing number 2. Okay, this guy went from the AFC to the NFC this year, like during the offseason, I should say.
And it's not Aaron. Is that Aaron? NFC to the AFC?
AFC to NFC. Yeah.
AFC.
So not Aaron Rodgers. That's a reverse.
It can't be Carr, is it?
Yeah, number 2.
Derek Carr.
Yeah, he's at 39.
Holy smokes.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So it's Allen, Carr, Mahomes, Stafford, and Mac Jones.
How many picks is there? Does 38 for Mahomes?
38 for Mahomes, bro, in the last 3 years. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be the stats guy now because this is gonna be fucking. This shit is hilarious that I find. I don't even know what made me want to look at this. I think it was just want to look at the interception counts, and then I was like, let me just look at the last few years, right? Because 5 is a lot. Now, if we trim it down, that's we kind of know. I was looking at Mac. I was looking at Mac shit so I could talk shit about Mac, and then I saw this and I was like, oh, we can talk shit about Patrick Mahomes a little bit.
But the thing too with Patrick too is like he could easily have like 10 more.
But you could honestly say he could have 10 less because a lot of these interceptions that he has are tip passes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, you could honestly say that too. But yeah, bro, Allen, Carr, Mahomes, Stafford, Jones, those guys have the most interceptions in the last 3 years. So the number 6 is Justin Herbert. So he has the same amount as Mac Jones. Crazy enough, but like I said, he's played more games than Mac. So technically, in the way from that, Mac, it hurts Mac more. Mac hasn't even completed 1,000 yards in the last 3 years, and he has, 1,000 completed passes. He hasn't done that, Alex, and he has 34 fucking picks in the last 3 years.
It's rough.
So he's averaging like about 11 a year, bro. And that's like how you said he was a more efficient. I think he was like maybe like 6 or 7 or 8 interceptions his rookie year, and then the last 2 years have just been. And we're not even done with this season, bro. Woo! But yeah, Lamar's up is not even the top 10, so another good shit for him. Matt Ryan actually rounds out the top 10 for the last 3 years, and that should tell you a lot because he didn't even play this year, so that should tell you a lot, Alex. So yeah, for the Dak supporters out there, Alex, like yourself, he's not even in the conversation of the most in the last 3 years. So if we want to throw that shit out, to like Jeff and James, whoever like sometimes feels negatively about that, we can say shit like that.
I really don't know what the hate is on for him too, because
he's a Cowboys quarterback. That's it. He's a Cowboys quarterback.
And he gets hatred from his own fan base.
But
it's crazy.
Dude, it's short-term memory loss for these Cowboys fans because they're the same way with Tony Romo. I remember it. Like clear as day. They're like, oh, I love Tony. If he had this O-line, he would have won us a title already. Nah, fuck. I heard the same shit to Tony Romo. I heard the same shit ever since Troy's basically been retired. Emmett in the early 2000s, like, nah, y'all been saying the same shit to everybody because you're a Cowboys fan and it's a Cowboys, quarterback, and they're always gonna get the most scrutiny. It doesn't matter if Dak goes. The next guy, you're gonna do the same shit to, and then you're gonna be like, man, I miss Dak. Man, Dak knew how to put it on the money sometimes. You get what I'm saying? You remember that 5,000 yard season? Man, I remember he was goated, Zeke kind of held him back. Like that's what I'm gonna hear in the next few years, bro. That's what I'm gonna hear. Like that's kind of shit. Like, I don't know. Dak, like I said, if the Cowboys don't want him, I think he do fine with the Patriots. He do fine in a lot of teams.
Yeah, I think he'll do really good at different teams if the Cowboys fans really feel some type of way with him, because he honestly, I don't feel like people say like, oh, he throws the game for us half of the time, or he's not our guy. I'm like, well, who else are you gonna have? Mm-hmm. Who else do you want? Like, you ain't gonna get no Patrick Mahomes on like Dallas Cowboys.
Now, Alex, I did want to say, going back to this interception thing, the only thing I do worry about, and again, we've talked about a lot. Justin Fields is kind of the worst one. Not in percent of that number,
but
as far as percentage wise, because he's had a lot of games missed, right, because of this year, and then his rookie year he didn't play much, right? Like he was like in and out a lot of the system, but he has 60% completions. He's nowhere near 1,000 attempts on passes. And so he's already up there high, but we've talked about a lot how his team doesn't separate and stuff like that. And he has made those, mistakes too, but it's obviously things that he can clean up. But I just wanted to bring that out to you. So in case, if we do go on anybody about other stuff, they can pull up that information too. So you're kind of prepared for it. Yeah. So I'll give you that info, brother.
I already knew Justin's number was high since he came into the league. But bro, I think last year, I seen like 4 or 5 picks go through receivers' hands. I'm like, oh my god, here we go again. But yeah, I've known that his completion percentage was down, and also his interception rate was kind of high for playing only a couple games in the league. Like he hasn't played a full season.
I wanted to ask you this. Obviously, the Packers won their game, so it shits on Justin Herbert. Now we don't need to get to that. There's really not much we can say about Justin Herbert. He's unfortunately in a shitty situation. We've talked enough about that. What game today surprised you? Of the games we haven't talked about yet, what game surprised you?
Man, there were some good ones. Well, this last one was pretty good. The Broncos game was pretty good.
Yeah.
That defense, man, that defense stepped up when it needed to.
Denver's defense you're talking about? Denver?
Yeah,
Denver's yeah.
Denver's defense stepped up when it needed to, and then even with that fourth down and the fake punt, a lot of teams would have easily just broke right there,
Yeah.
and they did it, man. They held their own, and then even with that, what was it, the third and 20, or
The last
they
play,
gave,
the fourth
yeah,
and
they gave
25.
they no the drive before that where I think it was third and 19, and they gained 19 yards, and then
Mm-hmm.
they go for it for fourth and one, and they get it, and they still manage to get them to a field goal. Yeah, that's winning defense, man. Like bend don't break type of defense, and a lot of teams
Yeah.
would have easily just gave up. Russell Wilson, he did just enough to win the game. Throws in a jump ball to Cortland Sutton and just says, "Fuck it, you're up there somewhere," and he
Back to
goes
back
out.
weeks, bro. He comes big for the team, Cortland Sutton.
Yeah,
Because he had inches, bro. He had no room to really like make a mistake. This is game of inches, and he came out and did his shit. The Vikings, man, I feel like his receivers kind of let him down, and not to say Josh Dobbs didn't do bad, right? He fumbled, what was it, 3 times, and he threw a pick. He lost one of the fumbles. He didn't lose all of them, but I mean, still, you gotta keep that ball security. Denver capitalized on a lot of turnovers there, on their end. Josh Dobbs really needed Hawkinson to step up. He needed Addison to step up because right now you've been winning. You've had like 5 in a row since Justin Jefferson's been out. 2 of which has been with Josh Dobbs, 3 with Kirk. Um, and they were kind of making a run back, to make back to the playoffs. A surprising run, not one I really saw, Alex. I thought they were going to be one of those early draft picks like the Pats, like the Bears. But they're really roaring back, and now you gotta assume Justin Jefferson will be back most likely next week. Kind of like to really see like, hey, or do you save him to the bye and just you give up the season? What do you think the Vikings should do?
I mean, they play the Bears next week, so I think you could get a win without Justin Jefferson. So I think you could save him for one more week, and then essentially have a bye week. So you give him for 2 weeks and let him recover a little bit more. Or you could just, I mean, I wouldn't be too
Quick.
concerned to, yeah, too quick to put him out there just yet. I mean, this winning streak kind of gets you in the mix, right? Um, but then yet again, or could you afford to lose a divisional game? Because you know how these games could get into in your division, could
Yeah,
get really
conference
could get
division records matter, tiebreakers.
yeah, yeah. This could get really this could be a really good game, even though the Bears record's not as par as the Vikings, but they play each other really good. So I don't know, man. It's a 50-50 toss. I feel like you shouldn't play Justin Jefferson.
He hasn't played since week 5. Would be at week 12 at this point, so it'd be 7 weeks of recovery. Like you said, he has to bye week 13. I kind of see him as something they would bring in because, if you really feel like, because I feel like they could have played him these last 2 weeks. They just been real cautious about it. Um, and maybe not even like put him out to full extent, like limit his role, right? Um, because you can see too something like Devon Achan, he came back from injury and he got injured right away.
Yeah,
Um, so like he can use those little minimum reps to like really help him for the last back half of the season because having a week 13 bye is good like if you're looking for recovery, but it also be very detrimental because now you have to really rev up the rest of the way. Now you can't be like, oh well, you had a extra week of recovery, like you can't fucking win weeks 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Like come on now. And they have an opening right now, Alex, the Vikings to get into the playoff picture through a wild card spot. And hey, man, if you're still trying to compete and you're not tanking, you kind of have to go for it, man. We even widget us, and hey, maybe if you dominate the Bears like early on, you can set them out the last quarter or however so. But I think like you kind of need to step up and really use it. Luckily, they're not one of the teams that has a short week, right? They don't play Thanksgiving. They play on Monday Night Football against the Bears, so 8 days, Alex. I think that maybe we can definitely see a return of Jettis.
Yeah, like I said, man, I don't know. I wouldn't be too quick to jump the gun on him just yet. Just because, like you said, HN got brought too soon and he goes down again. And
I don't even think it was too soon. I think it was just a freak shit. Like he was good, and then he runs, and it's like my knee, and then Tyreek Hill got his hand hurt, but he came back and put up numbers still. But I mean,
and
I
then
think that a few reps would help him out.
yeah, like you said, and then they're in the mix of a wild card run, and I don't know, man. You look in the other side too. It's too. I guess it's they have a big mountain to climb in Denver, but they're at 500 now, and the teams ahead of them that were racing to kind of dropped too. The Raiders think we're ahead of them. The Chargers were ahead of them. They all lose today.
If,
Cincinnati doesn't have Joe no more. What does that do to
oh,
the team?
they're
So
done.
like what? Yeah, like everything's shaping up for Denver, man. Like they could make a little run at towards the end, and
Well,
they
Alex,
I'm like I said,
here are the wild card teams right now, Alex. It's the Browns, the Texans, and the Steelers. And I don't think the Steelers will get in, right? If they would, they have a like for me, it's a rough schedule the way down, right? Like they have Cincy twice, and maybe you'll be like, oh well, they can beat Cincy twice because they don't have Joe Burrow, but one fucking Kenny Pickett pick and a low scoring game like this, right? Like how we had today with the Browns and the Steelers. Not saying the Bengals have the same kind of defense, right? But like something like this, and it's completely the other way around. I don't see the Steelers competing, and you still got Buffalo in there. And you're right. Maybe the Broncos, if they win enough, maybe Sean Payton isn't a fraud after all. I mean, shit. I mean, almost everybody's still in the mix, right? The Chargers, if they can come up in a win streak, they can still be in the mix, right? If the Jets can find a way with Zach Wilson and his pathetic, playability, maybe they can do it. They're only one game behind the Broncos, but AFC's crowded as fuck. There's really no one that stands out. Maybe other than the Baltimore Ravens and the Chiefs. Everyone else is kind of like wishy-washy, you know what I mean? But
yeah. But
and
the thing could be said too, like with with them not having their quarterback in Cincy, Cleveland too could also be like, man, how far is that sustainable for
yeah.
of not having Deshaun.
Hey, going back to the first topic, if Miles Garrett is able to get this team with with the defense into the playoffs, MVP. I don't give a fuck who's ahead of him in the record settings or anything like that. Miles Garrett leads that team, bro, with no Nick Chubb, no Deshaun Watson, with DTR as your quarterback. Give it to him, please, for the love of
Yeah,
God.
he would have to
Oh,
deserve.
this is the game then, Alex. Next week is Broncos versus Bears. I mean, Browns versus Broncos. Sorry.
That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a good game. It was in Denver, right?
It's in Denver, so it's mile high game again. They could take advantage, Broncos. They can definitely do it. I don't agree with Trey. I know maybe he's just like a little hype and he's like a little excited. He's like, hey, we beat Josh Allen, we beat Patrick Mahomes, we beat Josh Dobbs. Russ is elite. Yeah. No, calm down. He's not elite. But this is if they can if they can beat the high defensive power of the Browns, that could be a game changer. To
Well,
really tell me what a 5-game winning streak, you are a real threat to enter the playoffs and talk some shit. Not a lot of shit, some shit.
I mean they played Danielle Hunter this today. Danielle Hunter's in the sack leaders. I think right behind Miles Garrett. So I mean they're definitely gonna have to game plan to block Miles Garrett like how they tried to block Danielle Hunter. But I mean I didn't really hear much of his name today. So
No.
I guess just keep everything in tight. Go 11 personnel. Have two tight ends, and
Broncos by 10 points. Wow.
that's a big spread.
That's a lot right there, brother. Like, I don't know. Like, you're asking, especially with the Broncos winning streak so far. I don't think they've hit the double digits over their opponents, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So that's a huge ask, especially like you could have said the same thing with the Steelers. Oh, Steelers by 10. and they didn't do enough. Like I'm looking at the wins right now. Plus one, one score difference tonight, +2 against the Bills. Okay, +15 on the Chiefs. But again, I have to you recognize Mahomes was sick and he wasn't himself. I mean, he still went out to the play, so a loss is a loss, right? Like you decided to play, you sucked it, you sucked. It is what it is. But that's how much you won by. You won by 15. And then you get a 2-point win over Packers. So this win streak only one game with 10 points plus. And hey, I mean, yeah, the Browns are without a QB, but enough grit could maybe win you the game. And Myles Garrett might have just enough tenacity to fucking say, hey man, fuck it, let's go.
So it's definitely gonna be a game where it's gonna be an ugly game, man. Because
Low
Denver,
scoring, under 20 points, under 20 points, both teams, in my
yeah,
opinion.
Denver. I don't know what it is, but Denver's as far as today, I mean, up until today, was having a hard time running the ball. I think they had 130 yards today in rushing as a team.
Yep.
So yeah, but like that's not gonna happen against Cleveland. You could throw that out of the water. I mean, you're gonna have to.
You're not Lamar and the Ravens, right? But you're not gonna put 31 on them, and then
No, it's
and then shit like that. Like that's a special team. Like you're not. No disrespect. You're not that. You're not special. So, no. The Broncos rushing today. Good lord, 46 yards.
oh
Alex.
no, it was my bad. It was the Vikings at 130 something yards.
They had 175.
Yeah, that's right side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but that's automatically gonna go away. And then what are you gonna do with having Russell Wilson drop back and having Myles Garrett coming at him 110 miles per hour?
Russell Wilson, hey, Danielle Hunter's nice, right? But he ain't no fucking Myles Garrett. I can tell you
Yeah,
right now, that man is a freight train coming through, bro. I mean, Broncos, watch out. Hey, might be a happy Thanksgiving on Thursday, but it might be a nightmare, a Black Friday on Sunday. I can't believe we have a Black Friday game. You feel weird about
that's
that?
that's pretty cool because
Really?
a lot of people are home that day too because they have the Friday off.
Not me. I
And
work.
oh, really,
I work
I'll be
Friday.
off on Friday, so I'll be able
Well,
to watch
fuck you then.
it.
I'm be battling through all the people who still believe in store shopping for Black Friday. Well, fuck y'all. But no, Alex, that's all I really have for today, man. I mean, I feel like we got a lot to talk to. I mean, obviously, R.I.P. Joe Burrow and the Bengals season this year. They went 5-5. It wasn't exactly the season for them. That game was looking good up until he got hurt, bro. Really was. Like, I really thought Ravens and Bengals were going to be able to battle. I know on one side they lost Mark Andrews, but losing Joe Burrow, bro. I mean, I get it. You're not the biggest fan of Joe Burrow, and you said, hey, this AFC North is going to be so tight that they might even make it into the playoffs and shit like that. But losing another quarterback this season, bro, another top tier quarterback sucks.
Yeah, man. Especially like a quarterback like that where they are one of the faces of that conference or of the league,
Yeah,
so to speak. So
face of Ohio because they ain't Deshaun Watson
yeah, and
or
yeah,
Braun.
you're right. That game was shaping up to be one hell of a game, man. I think they were pretty much catching up at that point whenever Joe
Well,
Burrow
when you saw that, essentially that last pass and he tore his ligament, that was a touchdown pass to I believe it was Mixon, if
yeah.
I'm not mistaken, and you just saw the pain, and I was like, fuck. And I mean, I don't know the extent of how much going into the game how bad it was, but obviously in the game it got worse. He got sacked. And another year, Alex, where the O line is just not good enough. Even they get the Chiefs' best left tackle, and that fool sucks this year. Like,
So, this is, I think this is what I wanted to talk about the most. Like, I know
oh,
I think we went back at it. I think last year where I said, or the year they lost the Super Bowl, where I said, yeah, Jamar Chase is one hell of a receiver, but I still feel like they missed that on on a true talent like Pinche. And if you look at him now
If
in
you remember,
Detroit,
Alex, I was with you about that. I
yeah,
thought it was a mistake to go with his favorite weapon versus a guy who could save his life.
yeah. I mean, it's
This was rookie year. Actually, this was rookie year. It wasn't Super Bowl season. It was rookie year because when he went down, that was our biggest thing. That we were kind of pissed that they allowed him to get hurt when you basically getting your franchise guy.
it was his rookie year, and then I think the next year is whenever they got Jamar, right?
The next year they got Jamar and they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody's like saying like Jamar was the right choice, and I started looking at it more as like down the road, like okay, you missed out on Pinche. What are you gonna do to protect Joe Burrow now? You
Yep.
spend a lot. You spend. I mean, you spend money on the line. You try to revamp it, and it didn't work out because
Every year, bro.
yeah,
It's
try to
just
revamp it, and like I said it, man. Like going back to, I'm still gonna be so up to what I said before, where they missed out on Peninsula, and he looks like a fucking rock over there in Detroit, or he's bullying everybody on his side of the ball. And now Detroit has one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. I think right
yep. The
behind
last two
Philly.
years. The last two
Yeah,
years, yep.
and
Um,
it all started from Penei Sewell.
you know what? No, but you know what they need, bro. The coaching staff needs to recognize that, or in this case, Zach Taylor. You need to fire your O line coach again. I don't care who, but you need to bring someone. And you know this. Maybe you know somebody at this caliber. Do you remember Dante Scarnecchia, the Patriots O line coach?
Mm,
Dude was a fucking legend for us, bro. Because every year that we had him, we were right there. He's the one that made the O line essentially perfect for Tom Brady. We needed Scarnecchia because he retired essentially the year that Brady left, right? The Patriots. And ever since, you could see the O line not be the same for the Patriots, right? That they don't have the discipline. They allow so many sacks on Mac and Cam, because Cam was with us 1 year. But they need to find a gem like that, a guy who is basically a fucking general, a fucking soldier for this O lineman. They need a guy, bro, because you got all these guys are names everywhere else, but once you hit Cincinnati for whatever reason, I forgot to block. Oh yeah, oh, yeah. You get what I mean? Like they need someone like that, bro, because you can argue like just how we can say the Chargers have the defensive talent. Have the Bengals not gotten the names they're supposed to get for Joe Burrow to protect them, and yet somehow they still can't protect them?
I think that has to go back with game planning though, with the offensive coordinator of uh keeping an extra tight end. I know Joe Burrow likes to spread out the offense of having Jamar Chase and T Higgins out wide, and then having like a Joe Nix out wide. I was also kind of putting him in out there as like a slot, and it doesn't really work out. I mean, it works out to a T where you get all these yards, but at the end of it, you're not really seeing Joe Burrow. You don't really see like the
His
toll it
best
takes on. Like,
version.
well, you don't see the toll that it takes on his body because he's getting hit every
Yeah,
single play. So I would say like just do a more 11 personnel, have two tight ends, um, play action, but that's not Joe Burrow's game. You know what I mean? Joe
yeah,
Burrow Joe Burrow is still slinging it down the field, 3-step drop or 5-step drop, but he's not the quarterback where you put him under center, kind of put play action passes, and that's not the best version of him. And
yeah.
you don't want that. But
It
essentially, you're gonna have to do that though because I mean he's getting hurt. This is his second year now, right? Getting out for the year.
second in the last 4 years. Yep.
Damn, bro, that sucks.
Yeah, especially for a young guy, right? He's like 25. He's older than Lamar, even though Lamar's been in the league longer, but he also was in college a little longer too. But hey, who knows? Maybe you know what? Joe Brady does so good in Buffalo. He gets hired as the OC for the Bengals and he gets reunited with Joe Burrow.
No, That'd be crazy. That'd be really. I think that's what Cincinnati fans would want.
That's what I
That'd be
want.
really
I'm
cool.
not a Cincinnati fan, but that's what I would want for Joe Burrow. I mean, they still need an O-line coach, in my opinion, one that will actually get these guys to fucking get their shit together and protect them. Because, like we said, 2 season-ending injuries in 4 years. His first 4
I
years.
that's. I mean, Lamar too had that same thing too, right? His first couple of years, always getting hurt.
Last 2 years. His last 2 years. Yeah. In
Yeah,
his first
man.
5 years, he's had 2 season-ending injuries. Well, it was one, and then last year they were like, well, he could come back, but maybe he's not coming back because of the contract. Remember that? That was kind of the thing for last year.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really season ending. I think 2 years ago was season ending, but not this one. But hey, Lamar got paid, and look, he's looking good right now. I mean, just saying, 8-3. Yeah, you could say that the losses are bad, but hey, the Ravens are balling out. Still my pick for the Super Bowl. That doesn't change anything. I don't know if it's not a pick for me for the MVP, because I think Miles Garrett is balling the fuck out. But I don't know. Every week I might change with new information, right? So we'll see what happens. But Alex, hey, this was a good shit, bro. Another good episode of Midnight Rodeo. This is fun. I don't know if we're gonna do it weekly, maybe bi-weekly and shit like that. But it's a lot of fun just to get on and let some steam out, especially with these 10, 8-man, 9-man drafts. We kind of need some like to actually let out some shit.
Yeah, it was good, man. I gotta be up in a couple hours for work.
Nah, you don't gotta. I'm moving, fool. I'm moving this week. Like every day. I'm gonna come home from work and just pack and go. So Thanksgiving, pack and go. So, but yeah, man, this was fun, guys. Thank you for watching. If you're watching live or on demand, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at Puro Pinche Sports. Follow us on X/Twitter, Pinche Sports Pod. Guys, if you ever miss an episode or you want to catch up and listen to what we're talking about, every regular episode of Puro Pinche Sports will be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. You can go and listen to all that shit and just catch up with everything. And again, we truly appreciate, man, everything, the likes, the shares, the interactions, bro. I think that's the most fun we could have, is like having more interactions, and we just go out and talk our shit, because that's what we are. We're sports fans. Let's talk some shit. Let's have fun. Let's have good times. No disrespect though. Don't be throwing out major disrespect. But otherwise, let's have a good time, have good sports talk, because that's what it's all about. For Alex de la Cruz, I am Jose Garza. We are Puro Pinche Sports. We are out.